So let's stop to see fighting games as a niche for few elected, because we are not. It's like the first generation of Souls-likes and Souls-like player. They were just feeling better and more entitled than anyone because why? Because their game was difficult. And hello there, I'm Dejan and welcome to a new video. Today is gonna be a very quick one. I don't have much time, a lot of things going on, but I really wanted to record this so I could release the video soon. I saw a couple of posts today, I saw a couple of videos, so basically what is the hot topic of the moment, and I wanted to give my opinion. So everyone is saying two things. One, which is factual, one, which is just Elitine's bullshit. The factual thing is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is the best-selling game, fighting game of the year. One of the best of basically the last generation of fighting games. And the other people is saying Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is not a fighting game. And I just wanted to give my quick opinion about that as a fan of competitive fighting games and a fan of fighting games and a fan of Dragon Ball and a fan of Sparking Zero. They've been playing the sagas for I don't know how many years. My first video game for Dragon Ball was Ultimate Battle 2022. So if someone remembers that game, that was old. And you need to be more than 25 or older to remember the game. But let me just be clear. Saying that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is not a fighting game for whichever reason you think in your mind is just wrong. So I understand probably the point of view of many people. The people that says that it's not a fighting game, and it's the fact that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero cannot be considered a competitive fighting game. But this doesn't exclude it from the characteristics that typical fighting games have. Which is, fighting against an opponent, depleting his life or send him away or whatever, but it's just a one-to-one fight, 1 versus 1 fighting, 2 versus 2, 5 versus 5, how you want to count it, fighting within each other, That's a fighting game. Because if we live in this world where basically the only way for a fighting game to be a fighting game needs to be a competitive fighting game, basically we are not going to have anything apart the usual names, and that's what it's going to be. I'm honestly very happy that Dragon Ball is having this success. It can just be more people to maybe consider trying other fighting games. Especially because Dragon Ball, with the massive IP that it is, it drags a lot of attention from what is the real casual audience. Because let's be very clear. The only fighting game that is doing very well, the only competitive fighting game that is doing very well at the moment is Street Fighter 6. Tekken is there, it's still fresh, but it's going down because it's not the topic of the video. But apart from that, all the other games are really niche. The only one that is not supposed to be niche is the one that sells the most, is Mortal Kombat 1. That no one plays. But no one fucking plays Mortal Kombat 1. So let's thank Dragon Ball Sparking Zero to be here and bring some more population playing fighting games, because otherwise we're gonna go back to be pre-Street Fighter 4 when the genre was basically dead. I understand your argument. I understand your point of, it's not a fighting game because, it's just a mash play and you cannot play competitive. Not only if every fighting game needs to be competitive. And especially for Dragon Ball, it's the perfect instance because you still have a very healthy, even if for how old is the game, community for a competitive fighting game like fighters. And now you have the counter alternative of the kind of Dragon Ball simulator, the real Dragon Ball levels and the kind of game that it is. So and on the other side, if someone wants to make an argument for Dragon Ball being a competitive game, it's like, in my opinion, you cannot clearly say that Dragon Ball is a competitive game. Dragon Ball is an arena fighter, which has very different power level of characters, and can be played competitively. Yes, they give you the chance to do that, they give you a rank system and everything, but this does not make Dragon Ball a competitive fighting game. It makes it a fighting game with some competitive mechanics, but it cannot be competitive because, in my opinion, for a fighting game to be competitive, it needs to have a balance system where basically allows you to have every character as a viable source of power. What they did is very good with the power level, but this doesn't make it a competitive fighting game, in my opinion. But this doesn't mean a fighting game doesn't necessarily need to be competitive. Because let me tell you something. As a Tekken fan, to you, Tekken fan, Street Fighter fan, whatever. If to play a fighting game, I need to get a freaking doctorate into move list, frames, matchups, timing, and all of that stuff that you need to learn to perform to a decent level, not even to a high level, a decent level, okay? And before you say something, I think I can consider myself a decent, a competent Tekken player and fighting game understander to make this kind of statement. If this is the kind of knowledge that you need to make to be playing a fighting game, if this is the knowledge that a fighting game requires you to have to be able to be played properly, I really don't want to play fighting games. I'm sorry. Not exclusively that. So let's stop to see fighting games as a niche for few elected. Because we are not. It's like the first generation of Souls-likes and Souls-like player. They were just feeling better and more entitled than anyone because why? Because their game was difficult. Or people that finish Elden Ring with no summons. And you're not more entitled as someone that summons. Everyone is free, is more than welcome and free to enjoy the game as they like it. So let's cut all this crap of not considering great games like this one, amazing product like this one, not fighting games, because whatever god reason is not competitive or whatever is too simple. Because that's absolutely not true. And I really wish, and you, if you're thinking like, if you are a Tekken fan as well, you should wish that Tekken had a release like this one. And I don't mean in numbers, I mean in content. We got so much stuff with Tekken, it was all smoke at the end. While Dragon Ball, what he has is solid. It's solid material, it's concrete things we can all see and play in those days. And really, when I was seeing these videos today, when I was reading these tweets and everything, I was almost, I could not believe there was this massive amount of people that was thinking it that way. And it's kind of sad, because it takes away what the beauty is behind video game and of variety as well. Because if you take these away all of these games, you are left with Tekken and 2D fighters, dash fighters, normal fighters, and that's it. And you go online in a game like that, and it's just the usual toxic environment that nothing happened, where you're just gonna play and grind for getting that rank and everything. How many of you really care about your rank in fighters? Really? I know that some of you for sure is gonna play it for the rank. But if you are a Tekken Street Fighter player, whatever competitive fighting game player, and you play ranked in your main game, and then you go to Dragon Ball, you play the rank, and you lose even in the basic rank, are you gonna really feel that bad? No, and that's beautiful. It's incredible. For me, it's fascinating they can manage to pull out something like this. It's way more rare to have a game that is so enjoyable just for the game itself and not for being actually the stronger. And I wish, maybe it's just me having this kind of weird concept about Dragon Ball and Sparking Zero, and this kind of point of view is not shared by anyone, by many. I really want to see what you have to say in the comments about this, guys, because it's making me partially sad as well, because when I saw the first trailer with the TV and the Goku transforming Super Saiyan from the PS2 cutscene, I was like, yes, they're bringing it back, and I cannot wait to play it. Why? Because it's the perfect detox game, because I don't have to care about anything, because I'm even happy just playing it offline, because it's just fun to play, it's just fun for the feeling. And what they've done with all the replayabilities and the longevity that they put even just in the offline material, we should just bow to whoever created this game for the amazing job they did. Incredible. And I still have to see the Gameology review, by the way, that I heard is a piece of work. Anyway, I just wanted to let this go before I catch my flight, and I don't have much time to stay, so I cannot say much more. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the game. Do you really think this is not a fighting game? Anyway, this is it for today. I've been the John, you've been awesome, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!